This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
Did you know that parents rank financial literacy as the #1 most difficult life skill to teach? Meet Greenlight, the debit card and money app for families. With Greenlight, you can send money to kids quickly, set up chores, automate allowance, and keep an eye on what your kids are spending with real-time notifications. Kids learn to earn, save, and spend wisely. And parents can rest easy knowing their kids are learning about money with guardrails in place. Try Greenlight risk-free today at greenlight.com/iHeart.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
Ryan Seacrest here. When you have a busy schedule, it's important to maximize your downtime. One of the best ways to do that is by going to ChumbaCasino.com. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino games like spin slots, bingo, and solitaire that you can play for free for a chance to redeem some serious prizes. So hop on to ChumbaCasino.com now and live the Chumba life. Sponsored by Chumba Casino.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 21 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
We've got your shot to win tickets to Summer of Loud 2025.
It's loud and explosive.
Friday, July 11th at Somerset Amphitheater. See performances from Beartooth,
Beartooth,
I Prevail,
I Prevail,
Parkway Drive,
and Hibiscus,
and more. Head over to our contest page to see how you can win today. That's KFAN.com, keyword contest.
13-14 pastime common hour number 3 of the Grum. I really do enjoy the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line 64686. Come on, I know it's slow today, but what are you spewing here? 2 games out of a wild card? I mean, I know it's not looking great. Really? Talk about your understatements, but give me a break. Have a good day. 2 games out of a wild card. That's not the important stat here. Here are some of your important. We just did the pitching stats. The ERAs of the pitching staff in the month of June. Joe Ryan's is best at 4.36, we said. That's your best ERA in the starting staff. This was after they lost Saturday's game to the Brewers. Not to be confused with the loss on Friday and the loss on Sunday. Twins have lost 12 of their past 15 games. They gave up at least 9 runs in 6 of those games. The pitching staff owns a league-worst 7.53 ERA during that stretch. It's been a challenge for the offense to score more than 4 runs. I can sift through these recent stories and give you all the awful numbers. And I said during that long rambling dissertation last segment, much of which was lifted from the book of Deuteronomy, that I guess they could turn it around and go back on win 13 in a row. But what would lead you to believe that they could do that? 2 games out of what? There's like 15 teams 2 games out of a wild card. What makes you think they're going to go on some kind of a winning streak? Lopez is out until, at the earliest, August, probably not until September, could be out the rest of the year. None of their other starters are pitching well at all. They're all going to suddenly turn it around. Maybe they will. I just don't believe it. There's the sample size is too large at this point of the season. How many games are we into the season now?
We're about halfway.
We're halfway there. We're halfway there.
We're at 77.
Sunset Strip. You want to look at your MLB standings? Let's go ahead and let's take a look at them. There are currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There are 10 teams with better records. Now, there's 3 first-place teams there, but there are 10 teams in the American League with better records than the Twins.
Only 3 with worse.
And only 3 with worse.
Yeah.
So go ahead. I'm assuming this is another, I don't know. Either he's trying to troll me, either he really believes this, either he works for the poll lads, he's a ducky and bunny. He's one of those guys that never loses hope.
Well, that's the beauty also of basically the scam all these leagues try to pull off to make it seem like you've got a quality team. Because now, right, like back in the day, Major League Baseball, at least when I was growing up, I think it was even less when you were growing up, 2 teams in the American League advance to the playoffs, right? Now you get to the point where the Twins are 11th or 12th place in the American League, but they're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot because they've added so many wild card teams.
Well, that's what it is.
Or like in basketball now, they've added these play-in games. So the top 10 teams of each conference, well, even 11th and 12th and 13th are going to be in the mix for that that play-in game for a while.
Correct.
So it makes everyone in every single city go, man, our team's got a shot. We got a chance of being in this.
Even the
when
NFL.
Ultimately, like this team, if they get in, they're still not going to do anything anyway.
Even the NFL, 14 teams qualify for postseason play out of a 32-team league. Not quite half, but it's close.
Yeah.
So you can fool yourself, and you're right. It's done. It's not by, what's the phrase I'm looking for? It's not by circumstance. It's by design. That's what you've said it exactly right, that the league wants parity and they want everybody to believe that their team has a chance, because if you go, Twins are only 2 games out of a wild card. I know we're terrible, but we can get this thing turned around. Then you'll continue to watch games, go to games, spend money. You're being bamboozled is what you're
It's the
doing.
same reason the NHL gives up these loser points for overtime and shootout losses.
That's exactly it.
So more teams are getting points every single game, and then they're even closer in the standings.
Common, I'm not the biggest Twins fan, but I do cheer for them to be good like all of the Minnesota sports teams. I've been listening to the Fan for 18 years, and it seems like it's the same conversation every year surrounding the Twins. Had a couple of good seasons, but that's it. Is it ownership, talent, coaching, GM? It's getting old, me boy. Love the Grum. I think it starts with ownership, because this is a league that does not have a salary cap. And so the more money you spend on clothes, the better you look. The more money you spend on players, the better your team is. It's just a fact. I know Rosen always likes to point out, oh, look at the Yankees. They've only won 1 World Series in how many years? Look how their payroll is. But you know what? Every year they're contending.
They got a shot.
Every year do you as a fan care if your salary is really high and you don't win? The way I look at it is we're trying as hard as we can. We're trying to draft and develop the best players we can, and we're trying to fill spots in the roster with the players that have a resume that says they are amongst the best players in the league at their position. And if they want to spend the money, more power to them. I would love to be a fan.
The players we want to go watch.
Yes, I would love to be a fan of a team that had a big payroll. It's not a bad thing. It's not a sin. So I think it starts with ownership first and foremost. I said this earlier about prospects. The Twins apparently have some mighty. Lavelle was on this station earlier and said the Twins are still considered to be in the upper third of talent in their minor league system. Okay. But that doesn't really mean anything until those players get to the big league team and begin to produce. And we've had some of those players do that. Royce Lewis has produced when he's been healthy, but he hasn't been healthy. Who are the other guys? The two names I keep saying, Larnick, and who's our other guy?
Wallner.
Wallner.
Yeah, Julian back in the day.
Julian. We've got Trevor Lee, who's been pretty good. Brooksley. Trevor Lee's played basketball with my boy. Brooks Lee, though, of course, he didn't run it out the other. But that aside, he's hitting
the cover off the ball, though.
Yeah, he had like a 17, 18-game hitting streak. So some of our prospects are good, but they're not. So I don't know if it's scouting. We seem to have, but not all of our prospects pan out. I don't know how much. I don't want to let the manager off the hook. I know there are people that have a lot of problems with Baldelli. They don't like the way he handles his pitching staff. They don't like the way he handles the lineup. I don't know how much of that is him. Do I remember this correctly? That they talks with like Falvey every day, and I think that they use sabermetrics and analytics that come from the front office that say when do this, do that, depending upon who's pitching, and the lineup is never the same. I think, didn't they say last year the Twins had the exact same lineup like twice? That was it.
Basically never, yeah.
They never have the same lineup. And I'm not saying that having the same lineup game after game is going to breed any success, but it's just the idea that decisions are being made so much on sabermetrics and analytics, and I don't know how reliable that is. I've had my doubts about it forever. I know there's a place for them, but I'm still more of a, does a guy hit for a high average? Does he get on base? Does he get on base 3 out of the 10 times he's up at the plate? Does he drive in runs? Does he hit for power? Can he catch the ball? I don't know. And so there's a lot of different we have a lot of, I will say this, and this is very unscientific. The Bradshaw Bryant KFAN text line, a.k.a. the Holla Hotline. But there are a lot of people that are expressing the frustration with the club. And it means there are Twins fans. There are people that do care. Once you get apathy, tend to be, and nobody cares anymore, that's when you've really lost them. But we'll get back to some of those. I do have a couple of other topics I'd like to get into before the end of the show. So we'll take a break. Tenneby has a keyword here, though, I think.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword bonus at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is bonus. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Unlock smarter learning with Lenovo AI-powered PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Head to Lenovo.com and choose from multiple devices to fit your passions. If you're a gamer, you can spend less time stressing about GPUs and CPUs and more time dominating with your AI-enabled Smart Engine, which optimizes your game performance in real time. Or maybe you're a scientist on the verge of a groundbreaking discovery and need a device with a longer battery life and AI-enhanced tools to give you extra time to finish your research. Or you're a musician preparing for your biggest break and need better, faster AI tools to make digital art a breeze, like creating band posters and t-shirt designs. Or you're a soon-to-be graduate needing to catch a recruiter's eye to land that dream job, so you need cutting-edge smart tools to build your portfolio from scratch. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers get 5% off with an education account on Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. Well, I don't know about you, but I never liked being told, oh, wow, you look so good for your age. Why even bother saying that? Why don't you just say you look great at any age, every age? That's what Meaningful Beauty is all about. We create products that make you feel confident in your skin at the age you are now.
Meaningful Beauty. Beautiful skin at every age. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Couple 13-14 pass common man program. I'm common, he's 10 to be. So you have these scouting departments, right? And the personnel people and the general managers. And I mean, what do you expect them to say? See, maybe the media is part of the problem here, 10 to be. Do you really think that a general manager or the director of player personnel is going to go up to a beat writer, regardless of what city you're in, and say, you know, this kid, Brandon Molesky, he's a combination of Bryce Harper. Hold on, I'm trying to get current guys. Aaron Judge and Bobby Witt Jr. Now, in my era, it'd be he's a combination of Mays, Mantle, and DiMaggio. What else is he going to say? Is he going to say, well, we drafted this guy, but on second thought, we never should have. He's never going to turn into a big leaguer. Every general manager, every director of player personnel is going to rave about their prospects. And so then what does beat writer do? Okay, he says, Joe Bag of Donuts says that Brandon Molesky is a combination of Mookie Betts, Bobby Witt Jr., and Jazz Chisholm Jr.
I thought I was more Shohei Ohtani like, but that's fine.
So then you, the baseball fans, see that and go, whoa, this guy's going to be really good. And they say that about every guy in the farm system, and suddenly you think we got the greatest farm system in baseball. Then when Brandon Molesky comes up, and he's more of a combination of give me three duds. Can you give me three stiffs? Well, probably anybody on the Twins roster right now. But, and then you go, well, I guess we really weren't as good as we thought we were. So, just because they say we have it doesn't always work out that way. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Here's another. I'm usually against firing the manager, but the Twins TV crew convinced me this weekend that it's time to move on. They continuously pointed out times where the Brewers were being aggressive and putting pressure on us, stealing bases and aggressively tagging up. Then they pointed out a number of times where we did just the opposite. Buck was on first, and that's where he ended the inning, even though he's 12 for 12 in stealing this year. We had a guy on first who didn't tag and take second on a deep fly ball to the wall. The announcers pointed out that the Brewers would have a guy on second base right now. They said that aggressive style of play isn't in our DNA right now. My question is why? We get to a base and just hope someone knocks it over the wall? Style of playing the game is on the manager. Our announcing team pointed out many differences between the two teams. Time for a change. That is the way we play. We do play for the 3-run homer. We always have. And I thought that was starting to change some this year and maybe even last year, because after we lost, we finally broke that 0 for 18 record, right? Who did we beat in the playoffs again that year? Did we lose to Houston in the second round? And did we beat, was it the Brewers or Jays?
Blue Jays we beat.
So we beat the Blue Jays. We snapped the 0 for 18 streak.
Yeah.
Then we went to the next series and we got it handed to us. And in the season-ending news conference, I think it was Baldelli or I think it was both, Falvey, that basically said, we're not changing our stripes next year. We are going to have pitchers throw as hard as they possibly can, and we are going to try to hit the ball over the fence. They said it. I remember it. And that's the way so is that on Baldelli? I think that's on the Sabermetrics analytics guys. They punch all these numbers into the computer, and I guess in a perfect world, that is what you want to do. Get a couple of guys on base and then hit a home run. Don't leave it to chance by hitting it into a gap and a guy rounding the base and getting thrown out at home or getting doubled up somewhere. Because if it goes over the fence, there's no debating people are crossing the plate. And we had the Bomba squad, and we loved that. And so that's and throwing as hard as you can. And there is something to that. I don't think there's any doubt about that. If you blow it by these guys, that's why we do we have one guy that goes 5 innings, hopefully 6, and then we bring in 3 hard throwers to throw as hard as they can for 3 innings because it's hard to hit 100-mile-per-hour fastballs. It is. And I get that. But, gosh, sometimes I think they just get carried away with that stuff. So I'll take his word for it. That's what the announcing staff was saying. They were pointing out, which kind of surprises me, too.
They were calling out Brooks Lee yesterday, and Trevor Plouffe was the analyst. And I will say, Trevor's as vocal as I've seen an analyst in that spot in terms of not caring about being negative about what's going on with the team.
He'll be critical if he
thinks he'll be critical. Yeah. And he was critical of Brooks Lee. There's a single down the left field line. He was on first base and he only got to second, should have got to third on it. Yesterday was the only game of the 3 I watched, but he's definitely was very critical about, we should be getting an extra base in this situation. And we're not doing it.
And that could all very well be.
A lot of that's personnel probably as well.
Part of it's personnel. So I don't know if that's all dictated by the manager, I guess is my point, though. Would you agree with that? Because it sounds like that's kind of, isn't that Falvey and Levine? I know Levine's gone, but isn't that kind of their calling card as they are Sabermetrics and analytics guy? And as a matter of fact, I think there are a number of teams in the league that rely almost solely on Sabermetrics and analytics. You and I have talked about it forever. I think, I used to just laugh at it completely. This whips and these wars and all of these different things that I just thought, well, you're overanalyzing thing. See ball, hit ball, opposite field, steal a base, bunt the guy over. But there is a place for it. But those analytics and Sabermetrics seem to be, just on the average, this is what statistically it says, but, sometimes you got to go just the situation and a gut feeling. It might say, I'm supposed to go lefty against lefty here, but you know what? My right-hander's been throwing lights out, and I trust him. Right-handers can get left-handers out. Left-handers can get left-handers out. But it's always like we have to play these percentages and play these odds all the time instead of just going with the hot hand or the best player, the guys you're paying the money.
They just happen to be pitching that well on that day.
Yeah.
Let them go.
Let them go. Why would you pull them out?
They got it.
But it's this, we do these things, and I've said so many times, and they're not, the Twins, I don't think, are the only team that does it. You get through 6 innings, and you have a 7th inning guy, 8th inning guy, 9th inning guy, and it sounds great on paper. But guess what? There are going to be times when 7th inning guy doesn't have it. You got to get the women and children out of the first 5 rows in left field. So you outsmarted yourself. You went with 7th inning guy, and 7th inning guy gave up a 3-run homer. And now your 1-run lead turns into a 2-run deficit, and you just lost. And your starter was brilliant. Let him get to the line, the starting line, go through the line for the 3rd time in a row. It's just preposterous, and that might not work either. I get that because the Sabermetrics and analytics show that we saw those numbers. We looked at them. It was either last year or the year before, and they were stark. They were a batting average through the first time through the order, 238. I'm making these numbers up. Second time through the order, 279. Third time in the order, 301. Okay. But that's not every time. And sometimes you got to go with, man, my guy's got it today. He's brilliant. We're going to let him go another inning. So there's I don't think it is complicated to a certain extent, but it's also kind of simple to analyze as well. So, they thought Teneby was a combination of Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, and Manny Machado. Okay, well, is he really that good? I'd like Teneby in that cleanup spot, the way when he's not even trying to hit home runs, they go offense. I'm telling you, it's true. Here's one that says, hard throwing and waiting for home runs is boring. There's no baseball acumen or skill being shown at target field. I do think that's boring baseball. It can be really effective. I hate doing the back in my day thing because I do think some sports have gotten better. I think baseball isn't as good with maybe I just don't watch enough. I just don't, with all the sabermetrics and analytics, I'm sure they have in other sports too. I like football better now than it was back in the olden days because I do like the forward pass. I trust me. There's room for the running game, as we know. We've seen it all over the league, but let's do this. Let's do some list radio other side of the break. We haven't done that yet for a while today, so we'll do that here on the Common Man program on the Fan.
Are you shopping for a new laptop while still trying to keep up with technology and AI? Talk about feeling burnt out. But no more. Lenovo.com makes it easier than ever to find the perfect PC. In fact, we'll break it down for you. Step 1. Shop our lineup of AI PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors. Because why deal with downloading new software when you can buy a smarter PC that already comes with all of the AI features and tools? Step 2. Find the one that fits your passion. Whether you're a creative genius, a research scientist, a hardcore gamer, or a future CEO, no dream is too big. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. You can keep up with your ideas as well as any challenges you may face. Step 3. Add to cart and purchase. Oh, if you're a college student or a teacher, make an education account through us and get 5% off your whole order. Shop now at Lenovo.com. A better future is waiting, and it needs you.
Hey, everybody. So when you get asked, what is Odoo, what comes to mind? Well, I'll tell you, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a suite of business management software that some people say is like fertilizer because of the way it promotes growth. But, some people also say that Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable.
Ooh. But then again, you could look at Odoo in terms of how its individual software programs are a lot like building blocks. Whatever your business needs, manufacturing, accounting, HR programs, you can build a custom software suite that's perfect for your company. So what is Odoo? Well, Odoo is a bit of everything. Odoo is a fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. Yeah, that's it.
Which means that Odoo is exactly what every business needs. Learn more and sign up now at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
Hi, I'm Cindy Crawford, and I'm the founder of Meaningful Beauty. Well, I don't know about you, but I never liked being told, oh, wow, you look so good for your age. Why even bother saying that? Why don't you just say you look great at any age, every age? That's what Meaningful Beauty is all about. We create products that make you feel confident in your skin at the age you are now.
Meaningful Beauty. Beautiful skin at every age. Learn more at meaningfulbeauty.com.
Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever TP leaves behind on your behind. It's time to stop being an a-hole to your b-hole and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down.
Fan. Oh, boy.
Very timely and well placed to be. Well done. segment of the Grom. Oh, boy. We're back tomorrow at 12 noon.
Oh, boy.
We're back tomorrow at 12 noon.
Oh, boy.
Mark Rosen in at 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
So,
I'm a fraud.
Yes. Here's one of... This is a good text message here. In case you missed it, opponents have no trouble hitting Twins relievers who come in and throw their hardest. They should start pitching rather than throwing. That's absolutely brilliant. Spot on. They're not having trouble teeing off on our guys throwing as hard as they can. This one says, why can't pitchers throw their best stuff 2 times through the order, then make an adjustment to their approach the 3rd time through? The idea is the hitters make an adjustment after seeing a guy twice, make an adjustment to their adjustment. It's not that complicated. I think that makes some sense. But there's this one that says, I've texted this point 6 times and it never gets read. Twins management pulls pitchers after 2 times through the rotation because they don't want to have to pay a pitcher that's capable of pitching 3 times.
Correct.
Through the rotation.
That is the ultimate answer.
RuPaul says it's Scamalytics. It's Scamalytics, and I think he's right.
Brilliant! Well, and to the previous point, we always have the hitters are clearly the 3rd time through the order are making an adjustment of some sort because their averages are going up. Don't really good pitchers also make adjustments? I know this is an extreme example, right. But I've seen videos by documentaries of Greg Maddux. The guy was an absolute genius pitcher, where he had a situation against, I think it was Jeff Bagwell in a regular season game, where he told his catcher, hey, I want to throw this pitch. And so the catcher calls it. Maddux throws it. Bagwell just crushes it out of the park. And then they get to the playoffs, and they throw a different pitch because Maddux goes, basically we were intentionally setting him up that once we're going to face these guys in the playoffs down the road. I want to set Bagwell up so he's now sitting on that pitch, and they struck him out in the playoffs. So Greg Maddux wasn't just thinking about the next at bat for this player. He was thinking 4 months into the future.
And like you say, that's an extreme, but you can do it on a smaller scale, even with pitchers that aren't as good, can't you? I mean, I think that's exactly, I think, the point. Husker Preacher guy writes this to him. He says, I'm a Brewers fan. They are a heavily analytically driven team with a manager who blends the numbers with old school feel. That blend works well. In general, follow the numbers because they're generally true. In exceptional circumstances, however, go with the flow of the game. That's how the team has had success since 2018. And that's sort of what I've said, is that there is a place for sabermetrics and analytics. But I've always been more of a gut feel kind of a guy. I've always thought that's still the best. This one says, 26-year-old diehard Twins fan here. So 26-year-old is right that's in almost any business's wheelhouse, right? You want to get them when they're young. 26 years old is when you've started your career. You're maybe getting ready to start a family. You've got disposable income if you're doing well, right? So you're picking your spots where you spend money. So this is perfect for the Minnesota Twins. He goes, I'm a 26-year-old diehard. Watched or listened to every game last year. Paid $300 for tickets to one of the playoff games 2 years ago against the Blue Jays. I can't do it anymore. This season's been such a letdown for a fan like me. If they can't keep a fan like me, they are toast with the rest of the fan base. And I think that's true. Though, as I have pointed out as well, Tinneby, what I think the Twins ownership and front office rely on, and I think other teams do as well, you have different types of fans. You have the diehards like him, loves the game. He pays attention to it. He understands it. Then you have the family of 4 that goes to the game just because it's something to do on a summer afternoon. I'm gonna do a little bit of a not stereotyping, though that would work. I'm going to do some generalizations, some stereotyping, I guess, would work. Of that married couple with the 2 kids, dad's he's been a sports fan, so he kind of knows what's going on, right? Mom's busier and has better things to do than pay attention to a 162-game schedule and couldn't care less. I'm not saying all women are that way, but I'm just saying in general. And then
she's got the wipes in her pocket waiting in case there's ketchup spilled on their shorts.
Yeah. And then the kids, they don't really understand. It's just fun to go to the game. And so that family of four, really, it's the old, so we root for the home team, and if they don't win, it's a shame. They root for the home team, and if they don't win, it's a shame, but it's just 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball. They don't care enough. It's the hardcores of people that care. Those are the ones that will, pardon me, affect the box office, right? They're the ones that'll say, I'm not going anymore. I love baseball, but most of the time I'm watching a bad team. It's the
season ticket holders that are investing a lot of money.
Yes.
Yeah.
And those are the ones. But yeah, you count on the ones that go to 1 or 2 games a year just for something to do. And also, as we've talked about, somebody emailed in or text messaged in a week or so ago about, I don't remember which field they were talking about. Was it? I guess it'd be any team in baseball nowadays, whether it's Kansas City. I think it was Colorado he was talking about, because we were picking on Colorado because they were so bad. He says they have all sorts of fans that go to games because they don't care about the outcome. It's a place to go and have your craft beers and sit. And it's like the Twins. What do we have out in right field? What's that called? The Plaza?
Budweiser? In right field. Yeah.
They got the Budweiser, and then right field they got some kind of I don't know what it is. And they're just there just because it's a place.
You play mini golf.
Yeah, it's just a place to have. It's like going to a bar. It's like going to a bowling alley. It's like going to Top Golf. You don't care what's you hear the crack of the bat. You might turn around and look and go, what happened there? Oh, one of our guys hit a home run. Hey, another round of beer for everybody.
They just want to get on the Jumbotron. That's what they care about more than anything.
And so, I don't. And then there was one other one, or I had a couple of these that says, hold on a second, because I want to read one, because I think the way he said it was, can you give me a, yeah, thanks. Well, I can't find it. But what he basically said was, I really don't want to see the Twins make any moves. I don't want this until they're sold. I don't want this ownership group, this front office, or this manager doing anything. Let's just let it get to the next ownership and let them, because I can understand that thinking, because as we've talked about, Tenneby, I would think, like tomorrow, I think the NBA Board of Governors will approve the sale of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx to Lori and Rodriguez. I know it's a business decision by Lori and Rodriguez, particularly the Lori character, I think, more than anything, because I think he's most of the money behind this. But they also, I think, more so than the money, they want to win basketball games, man. It's their new shiny toy. I want to win games. And so you would hope that the new Twins ownership, I would think, if they're going to spend that kind of money, I don't think they're buying it just as another piece of their
portfolio.
Yeah, right. I don't think that. Now, maybe it is.
I think it's part that.
It's part that. No, it is part that. But I don't think that's the only thing they're doing. I think they're going, this is fun. I like parades. I like championships. I want to be a big shot. I want to be the guy they show on the screen when it's Game 7 and we're winning it and they show me in the owner's booth. I like parades, and so that's why you want to see that next ownership group come in and hopefully take that next step. What I don't know is if, and then we talked about this earlier today, if the Twins are really sincerely interested in selling the team, because when you're asking for 1.7 and the value is only 1.5 and you have that $400 million lien, which, I think we've determined that it doesn't push the price to 2.1. It's just the reason it's at 1.7 is because of that money. It's almost like they're pricing themselves out of selling it, though I do think eventually somebody, even if it's worth 1.5, will pay 1.7 just because they want to own a baseball team. But I don't know. The Twins could end up not selling it this year, and next year we're back to the Minnesota Twins ownership under the Pohlad family. Could very well be. As a matter of fact, I'd be willing to bet, if you want to bet, but it's not going to be a lot of money, that the start of next season, opening day, the Pohlads will still own the Minnesota Twins.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yep. And then when Joe threw in the old, well, I still like to run the team after we sell it, I think that's another sticking point. I know if I'm buying the team, no, Joe, you ain't, no, you're not. I know that was your hope and your dream when the family had it and you thought you were going to keep it forever. And you've been in training to be the guy making the everyday decisions, and I don't blame you. It's a cool job. Hell, if my dad owned a pro sports team, may he rest in peace, and then decided to sell it out from under me before I got, Dad, wait, no. I wanted to be owner here. What do you mean we're selling the team? I don't want to sell the team, but that's kind of what's happening here is they're just going to, lock, stock, and barrel, they're going to sell this club. And as if
it's been a little quiet on that front, hasn't it?
Well, it has, yes. It has been almost too quiet. But there was one other note I had for you here. Oh, yeah, I like this one. This is another CBS story, Henry. Building an all-bargain team from Pete Prisco's top 100 NFL players of 2025. We looked at that list last week. There were 8 Lions on that team and 2 Vikings. Here's what it says. Building an all-bargain team from Prisco's top 100 NFL players of 2025. Lions, Rams, Vikings offer big steals. Here's how they put together this team, Tennessee. Here were the rules. 22 different players were selected. 11 offensive starters, 11 defensive starters. Only players on Pete Prisco's top 100 list were eligible for selection.
Okay.
Players had to fit under an imaginary $139.6 million salary cap. This number was chosen because it is half the actual 2025 salary cap, reflecting the all-bargain team's reduced roster size. Players' individual 2025 salary cap hits were used to calculate that cost. Your quarterback would be Jaden Daniels because you're getting him for $8.6 million. That's a bargain in this day.
Hopefully, J.J. McCarthy will be on this all-bargain team next year at this time.
Jameer Gibbs will be one of your running backs, Tennessee. Well, I guess it would be just the only one. Well, there might be maybe they're doing 2 backs, but it's 11 starters on each side. His cap hit is $4.9 million.
That's pretty good.
That's really good. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson, his cap hit is only 15.2 this year.
How?
I don't know. That's what it says. Doesn't seem right to me, but that's what it says. Do you think this
is the extension not fully kicked in yet?
I don't know. I'm going with what they're saying on CBS Sports, and they might be off their rocker. Brian Thomas Jr., another wide receiver, his cap hit is $3.3 million.
Yeah, well, he's a rookie last year.
Yeah. Puka Nacua. Is this right? His cap hit is only $1.1 million.
He's probably still on the rookie contract.
Wow. Brock Bowers, your tight end, he's at $4.1 million. Tristan Wirfs, offensive tackle, he's at $11.5. Taylor Smith is your other offensive tackle at $4.3. Tyler Linderbaum is your center, a $4.2 salary cap hit. Quinn Minears, he's your center.
Who?
He's the center. His cap hit is $5.5 million. Penny Sewell, his cap hit is only $9.5 million, Tennessee. Defensively, Aiden Hutchinson, his cap hit $11.3. Jalen Carter, $5.9, your other defensive tackle. Leonard Williams, $15 million. Jared Verse, $3.4. Zach Bond, $4.4 million. Bobby Wagner, $9 million. Christian Gonzalez, $4.1 million. Quinion Mitchell, $3.4. Cooper DeJean, 2.1. Kyle Hamilton, 5.2. Brian Branch, 2.2. If you like parades, that'd be a hell of a club on both sides of the ball, don't you think? Now, again, they're kind of all-star teams, best players, Pete Prisco's top 100 players, but the cheapest ones, a lot of those guys are a bargain right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what they all have in common mostly, and I guess JJ's the exception to this rule, is they're all very young. So a lot of those guys have been in the league, Jaden Daniels' case, 1 year, 2-3 years. They're on their entry-level deals, and a lot of those guys are going to get paid a lot of money probably in the next year or two.
Yes, plenty.
So that value with those players will change, but it's also a good exercise and a good reminder, even though this is very obvious and very cliche, about how important it is in drafting in the National Football League. Kwesi's been doing amazing with what he's been able to do in free agency, but you need to hit draft picks, and the Vikings need to hit on J.J. McCarthy, and they need to hit on Dallas Turner. And if you can't, eventually you're in a salary cap world, you're not going to be able to survive.
This text message says there were at least 3 Hawkeyes on that list, and he's right, and I'll never look at the color yellow again and not think of those Hawkeye players. Never again as long as I live, so.
Well, I thought Quinyon Mitchell, is he at Philadelphia? Because I know Cooper DeJean is.
Did I say DeJean? Sorry, I mispronounced.
That's back-to-back secondary guys. I thought Quinyon went to Philadelphia because I liked him a lot in that draft.
Let me tell you. Yeah, he's Philadelphia, yeah. I think you had him as your purple
player. 2 cornerbacks they nailed as rookies last year, and they both played a role in winning the big game. Must be nice to hit on those late first-round draft picks.
Well, the thing about football, I think, tend to be is we've seen guys all over. It doesn't matter what round they're drafted in. Hell, we got guys that were undrafted that turn out to be pretty good. But yeah, if you can hit on those, especially those first-round picks, because they've already shown an abundance of talent, and that they live up to it on the pro level, they almost always end up being amongst the best at their position, too. So, like he's JJ. No, he's not JJ anymore. He's Jets. Sorry. We got to get used to that. He's not JJ. It's Jets. It's the other JJ.
Well, if you can do like the Rams, I think Puka Nacua was a 5th-round pick, right? And the 49ers had Brock Purdy as Mr. Irrelevant. You get guys like that. Not only are they in rookie deals, but not nearly making as much money against the cap as those first-round guys. They're just making pennies.
Who is
very advantageous?
Well, John Randall's is the best story. He was undrafted, and he's in the NFL Hall of Fame. But Vikings, someone would have to do the research for me. I wonder the Viking that was picked.
Well, I know, Matt Burke was a 6th-round pick, and he was a borderline Hall of Famer.
Yep.
I don't think he ended up getting in, but he had a very, very good career.
Where was the Hitman drafted?
He was 1st round.
Oh, he was 1st round?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was a 1st-round pick.
So we were expecting that from the Hitman then. But yeah, maybe
even Daniil Hunter was 4th round, I think.
Maybe Burke is the best example for the Vikings. I don't know. Maybe somebody else out there could. Well, back in the olden days, they used to have a draft that was wasn't it 15, 17 rounds? I mean, they were drafting guys. Now, there weren't as many teams back then either, so not as many players, I guess, were probably being selected as now. You have 32 teams. Back in the olden days, it was 14 or so. But the Burke one's certainly good. And if Hunter is indeed a 4th round, I think you're right. That's a good spot. And Thielen was undrafted as well, wasn't he?
Yes, Adam Thielen undrafted. Or even Stephon Diggs was a 5th-round pick.
Yep. Man, those were the days when we could just steal guys like that, but don't know anymore.
I think Spielman had more success with those types of picks than he did his 1st-round picks.
As the late, great Dark Star would say.
Well, there's that.
JG's in next with Brett Blakemore. JG's in the entire week.
Oh, boy.
Then, of course, the Power Trip Morning Show back tomorrow.
Oh, boy.
And then Paul Allen and Nordo.
Oh, boy.
And then 10 and B, me and Mark Rosen.
Oh, boy.
What a lineup. How is this station as successful as it is?
No idea.
With that lineup.
It's a miracle.
We're very Twins-like when you look at our roster. But we're still on top. They're not. Hey, let's do this. By the way, 10B, thanks for having me.
Hey, great job.
Yeah, thank you. You as well. We enjoyed our visit with you today. We're back tomorrow at 12 o'clock. As I said, stick around. It's JG, the tasteless box of mashed potatoes. He and Brett Blakemore next here on The Fan.
Good night. Good morning. Good afternoon. And good night, Minnesota.
And good night, folks. And good night, Mrs. Calabash. Wherever you are.
Welcome back to the spotlight, young man.
Listen back to any of Common Man's programs by podcasting on the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
Want to feel more creative but don't have the right laptop? Lenovo.com can help. Look through our legendary lineup of AI-powered PCs and devices and find the one that fits your passion. Our PCs powered by Intel Core Ultra processors, as well as cutting-edge AI tools, allow students to focus, learn, and create with ease. That's the power of Lenovo with Intel inside. Plus, college students and teachers can get 5% off their order. Shop now on Lenovo.com. The future's waiting, and it needs you.
You know, some people say that Odoo business management software is like fertilizer, the way it promotes growth and all. But other people say Odoo is like a magic beanstalk because it grows with your company and is also magically affordable. And there's some people who would even say Odoo's individual software programs come together to build the perfect suite like building blocks. Well, Odoo is all of these things. Fertilizer, magic beanstalk, building blocks for business. So sign up now at odoo.com. ODOO.com.
Saks Off 5th, up to 70% off every day. Summer is in full swing here at Saks Off 5th with so many exciting trends to try. From matching sets and floral dresses to wide leg jeans and chic accessories, find all of this season's must-have styles. Plus, shop new designer arrivals weekly. Find Gucci, Valentino Garavani, Versace, Stuart Weitzman, and more. Head to SaksOff5th.com or a Saks Off 5th store near you for up to 70% off every day.
Have you ever wiped with a piece of dry, single-ply toilet paper and wondered, is this as good as it gets? Well, it's not. It gets a lot better thanks to the wet, extra-large cleaning power of Dude Wipes. They comfortably clean up whatever TP leaves behind on your behind. It's time to stop being an a-hole to your b-hole and start experiencing the confident clean of Dude Wipes. Available at Amazon and at major retailers nationwide. Dude Wipes. Best clean, pants down.